Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today it's weigh-in day for the chicks from Recreational Homestead. They are officially 3 weeks old now, and over this past week they have eaten 14 pounds of feed, which that's a significant jump from week 2. And in week 2, the consumption had jumped 81%. So once I have the data into the spreadsheet, we'll figure out what the actual increase was coming towards week 3. And they are out in our open barn brooders. It's 47 degrees outside. They have just that 50-watt reptile bulb. I do want to check and see what's in the feeder still. Not much. They're scraping bottom. And if you look at the floor, no waste. And I wonder if the color of the bedding has anything to do with that, because they can see it easily if it's spilled. It's just a little theory I have. So I did split them equally from one spot to the other to double their space. These guys have also eaten it down to the bottom. Now, if you notice, these brooders are quite long, and when I go to catch these guys for weighing, they're going to be running back and forth, and it's going to get frustrating. So I'm going to find something to act as a barrier, and I'll place it on the right side here, remove the feeder, remove the drinker, and I will guide everyone over here. And that will corner them and make them a lot easier to catch. After I get their weight and their tag number and get that written down, I'm going to put them in a plastic tote so I know who was done. I'm just going to work my way through like I always do. And since I am set up at my little table here, I don't have a good overhead view. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it done and then let you guys know what's going on with these chicks. And if I find any chicks that I really like the look of, I'll set them aside and talk about them a little bit. And I've got some additional information that Chase told me about. I'll go into that as well. But so far, I'm really liking these Recreational Homestead chicks. They're remarkably similar to my own. And I didn't even source my original flock from them. And if you've been watching, I don't ship chicks. I hardly ever sell anything out of my flock. You guys are always asking me when I'm going to start, and I have no idea. But in the meantime, check out Recreational Homestead, because these are shaping up pretty good and seem really comparable. Oh, look at what I found to use as a barrier. This basic black basket. Oh, there goes one trying to escape. This is going to make my life so much easier. Look how many caught themselves already. Alright, back to work. The basket idea was brilliant. This is going so smoothly and so low stress. I'm more than halfway through the first batch. I have one baby so far who felt absolutely incredible, so we're going to talk about him. The ones getting a check mark, those are as expected. So far, I haven't indicated anyone as a call, and I don't have my tag numbers of who I previously identified as a call, because during this grow out period, it's all subjective. It all could change as they develop. But at least this way, I'm going to have their data of how they grew up, which is going to be a big part of the decision-making process as we look for who is going to be a viable breeding bird, who is going to be best suited for the freezer, and who may have a really good laying career for breakfast eggs. So since these chicks from Recreational Homestead are new to me, I'm going to walk you through all the steps involved on finding your best standout birds to be your future breeding flock. So far, so good. And I think you need to plastic basket and size your brooders to fit that, because look, these guys are just hanging out waiting for their turn. Low stress, keeping it easy. Alright, so I got the top brooder finished, and this is what makes this so interesting and why you need to pay attention to this stuff. So the biggest baby weighed in at 8.875 ounces, but it didn't feel like the meatiest one. The meatiest are the two I indicated as a favorite, because the way their fleshing feels, way better than the actual biggest bird. So it's a combination of getting their weights and handling them to get a feel for them. So these are the two that stood out for what they felt like. And what they feel like down this keel, you can see the meat. Both of these chicks, when I put my hands on them, you can tell a big difference. Like, wow, this one has more fuzz. So by indicating who they are at this age, we now know going forward they felt the best. So that's tag number BR10 and tag number BL5. When I get into my spreadsheet, we'll see if those are previous favorites or new favorites. The leg color on the one's coming in nice and dark. The other one's not quite there yet, but is turning. So now we can make notes on when their legs turned color. So I'm going to go ahead and add that once I confirm. Who are you? Are you the brown one? That one was the blue tag. So we'll go ahead and write blue feet, pale feet, and we'll find out in time how the color continues to develop on both of them. All right, now for the second brooder. We'll see what we find in there. I got through the bottom brooder and I found two more favorites. And in this case, biggest baby is one of the meatiest babies. The three calls I indicated before, I'm pretty sure it's these three here. I haven't found any more to add to that list yet. But here's the standout favorites. So far, I have found 4 very meaty feeling cockerels. They're just that much different than the others in their fleshing. And that is definitely something you want to find early, because it's going to encourage your future growth rate. Now, I'm all about that growth rate, the meat to bone ratio, the earlier dress weights, because one thing that was giving me problems when I went on this sustainable dual purpose adventure was how long it took to get a good table yield, where it was a minimum of 20-24 weeks, and at that point your cooking options are really limited. I much prefer to start processing at 14 to 16 weeks old, maybe all the way to 18 weeks, and we still have some pretty good texture. These guys, their legs are turning. This one may end up with pink toes. We'll find out. But I got them all put back. I gave each brooder another 2 pounds of feed. Cleaned out their water drinker. So we'll do this again in a week. I'm not going to be able to do the spreadsheet today, but I'll do an update once I get that data input into it and we see what we're looking at as far as the numbers. But I have other chores to do today, so feel free to like and subscribe as we keep going through this process to find the FCR and to show you what it looks like in developing your first flock. Now, as far as when I was talking to Chase and giving him a couple little updates on his stock, he did want me to mention that they ship. I don't. But the shipping process always stresses me out, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do it. But they have really good luck. And when he sent these chicks, it was cool outside, and we had 0 losses from transit. And now at 3 weeks old, we're still at 0 losses. So this is actually going really, really well. And I'm especially tickled about those 4 really meaty boys, because they very well may end up being the cornerstone of a breeding program centered around them. We'll find out. More on this later.